Hi guys, it's Terry's here. How are you today? Hope you find a few minutes today to do what we love best and make you some cards or scrapbooking layouts, right? Today I'm going to bring you a Christmas card. And it's very simple, and what I'm using is the Designer Series paper this Christmas. And this is not in the holiday catalog. This is in the annual catalog. So, you know, you'll have plenty access to it. We're going to be using cherry cobbler and very vanilla with it. And the stamp set that we're going to, or sets actually, that we're going to be using, perpetual birthday calendar. And I'm just going to use, where is that? This little flower right here. And that's the only thing I'll be using out of this stamp set. We're also going to be using flourishing phrases. And now I know these aren't Christmas related, but you can make them, you know, you can make them pretty much anything that you wanted. And what we're using today is the big flower in the flourishing phrases. Okay. Now, we're also going to be using, whoops, these don't go, sorry. We're also going to be using some of the layering. These are the squares, layering squares, but look at those. How yummy. How many, I mean, wow. There's just not a size that you wouldn't be able to use. Okay. Let me get this close. And we're actually going to be using the ovals, the layering ovals, okay, on this card. And we'll have a little piece of Stampin' Up! Ribbon. Everything that I'm going to be using in these cards today will be Stampin' Up! All right. Let's get going. Now, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to cut our card base. And we'll be cutting that out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And so halfway across the side of it is going to be 5.5. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it on the side and I'm going to score it at 4.25. And here's my score blade. And that just helps you to get a nice flat crease in your card base. And you can just take your bone folder and just really bear down on it, and that will lay your card perfectly flat so you can work on it and it won't be popping up every time. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to size down our layer. Now we're doing just the one layer on it, and we're going to cut it at 5.25. Whoops, let me get my little score blade out of the way. 5.25 by 4, and that will just give us just a small area around it for the layer. Okay. Now I can use this in another project. So this is the one layer that we're going to be using. So I'm going to just put some snail on it and stick it right down. Make sure which side you're putting it on. Make sure your card opens up right. And then just get it as centered as you can. Nice. Sweet. The thing I love about Stampin' Up! That everything coordinates. So the flowers in this particular pattern paper coordinates with the cherry cobbler, and I believe the greens goes with garden greens. So everything coordinates. You really can't mess a card up. You really can't. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now I'm going to take a piece of my cherry cobbler and I'm going to cut out the bottom layer of my ovals. And the bottom layer is red. So we'll just slide that into the Big Shot and run it right through. Now I have my precision plates on this, but you really don't need them for just the framelits. what you want to use that precision base for is the thinlits, because they're usually those are a lot more delicate and intricate. So there's our bottom layer of our oval, and I'm going to take the regular circle. Perfect. I try to be frugal with my supplies. Alright, just get this popped out. And we're finished. There's really no need in going through it twice. It's just that I just roll it back. But there's no reason that you would have to go through it twice. Now I try to store my plates right on my Big Shot so that I won't have to look around for them and dig around for them. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take our flour from the Flourishing Phrases, and we're going to be using cherry cobbler. And my cherry cobbler is probably the first one I ever bought. It's quite old, and I just keep buying the refills to fill them up. They've really updated them now. They're not quite, they don't look like the new ones. But like I said, this has been very much loved. I've used it a lot. Alright, I've inked up my stamp. Load it up really good. Center it. And just apply pressure. Yay! Okay, we're finished with that one. And we're finished for the cherry cobbler right now. So I'll just put it away. Now I'm going to put my Very Vanilla oval onto, let's go ahead and put it on this. And I'm just going to eyeball it, kind of center it. Sometimes that gets me in trouble. Now you can pop these up, and in fact I usually do. This one's popped up, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little space between the oval and the bottom paper. And I just usually pop everything up. Used to, I didn't buy dimensionals very much because I thought they cost too much money. And actually, they're really great. They, let's see if I can find them. You get 300 of them in a package, and I think a package is $3.50 or $4, something like that. So it's really worth it. I mean, you really get a lot in there. All right, we're almost finished. I'm gonna get my ribbon, and this is Gold Dorado, and I love this ribbon. It's just perfect for tiny bows. Let me get my fingers out of the way. And you just kind of mess with it until you get it exactly the way you want it. And then you take your ribbon scissors. And I try to be very careful and never cut anything but ribbon with my scissors, my ribbon scissors. Now I'm going to use some glue dots, some of the small glue dots. And I'm just going to put one behind the bow. And now this one's pretty good, but sometimes I have to roll the edge of it, or it'll show and it'll catch dirt and it'll just get nasty looking. So that turned out pretty good. Now the last thing that I usually do to my cards, let's see if I can find a piece of Very Vanilla, is I finish the inside of the cards. And so I typically do the same size of mat inside that I do on the bottom mat outside. So what we're going to do is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. Somewhere around there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then it's just going to go right inside the card. So I'll put a little snail on it. I love this snail. And I'll center it. Now the last thing I'm going to do to it is take my little stamp that came from the Perpetual Birthday calendar stamp set. And I'm going to use my cherry cobbler again. And I'm just going to go down in the very lower left corner. Voila. And that just finishes it off, gives it a nice finished look to it. And there you go. Your card is finished, and you could really mass produce these, and they would look really good for your Christmas cards. All right, that's it for today. Hope you liked my video. Check it out. I will be posting videos on my blog. In fact, I've got one up there now, and this one will be going up there next. So check it out. All right, see you later, guys. Bye-bye.